more beautiful crystals and essential oils. It's just lovely doing this with you. Sorry if I'm not. There we go. I'm just looking at the other place to see if it's gone live. It has. Wonderful. Excuse me. And yes, this is um, a lovely time. When I'm creating these lives, it just takes me back, and I'm learning so much more again, which is so wonderful, and I love it that I am uh, teaching you, but learning as well, which is really really cool. It's excellent, and it's just so wonderful how it does that. Hey, Saber, lovely to see you. My husband, I was busy doing other things, but I still had you playing, listening to your music, and but I had gone off to the other end of the house, and my husband said that you were talking about my live today. So thank you, bless you. Lovely. All right, my darlings, how are we all doing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. He heard it and he relayed it to me, so that was good. Yeah, I have it. I have your one sitting in our dining area, so that because it's usually breakfast time when I'm listening to your one, so we both sit there and listen to it, and then I just leave it running and potter off and do things and come back and listen while I'm out doing other things, and it's so lovely. I love it. I love it. Hey, Michelle. Wonderful to see you too. Oh, voice, voice. It's gone all croaky for some reason. Interesting, eh? Interesting. Ah, beautiful, fabulous. Hey, Melanie, lovely to see you. Welcome. I'm sad I miss a lot of your lives because they're often in the middle of my night now. But hey, that's fine. Ah, fabulous, Saber. Lovely. That's perfect. Yeah. You haven't, weren't you on yesterday or something, or during the night? Maybe I was dreaming. Maybe I was dreaming about you. Must have been. No, okay, yeah, I must have been dreaming about you because I swear I saw that you were on during my middle of my night the other, not last night, the night before, and so you must be on my mind for some reason. I love it. I love it. All right, my lovelies, shall we get into it? Because let's put some music on too. I always love having a bit of music in the background. And I did have it ready and then completely forgot about it. I went and got my tea instead. You know, you got to get priorities right, don't you? And so I did that instead. Did that instead. Alrighty, aquamarine. I don't know that this one will shine much in the under the light. Oh, I might do. Let's just turn this a wee bit. So this is aquamarine. This is a gorgeous wee crystal. I love it, and it's quite a special wee crystal actually. It's a fairly new one to me. I've had it for about a couple of months, and I do love working with it. I when I said that I was doing aquamarine, and then I went to look at what I said I was doing to go and find the crystal, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't have that one. And then I realized, of course I do. I had to go and find it because I'd been using it elsewhere. So I was like, ah, yes, I found it. I didn't say goodbye, did I? Hello, hello. Hey, Karma. Ah, it's from a Beatles song. Ah, yes, of course. Ah, yes. Hello, hello. Yes, I know exactly the one you're talking about, Howard. Hello, it is a fabulous song, Michelle. Hello, Karma. You cleansed all your crystals overnight last night with a full moon. Beautiful, beautiful. Your entire deck was covered. Oh, how wonderful. I wasn't feeling that great the night before, not last night, not the night before, but the night before. And, and the full moon, I got up and just couldn't sleep, and so I was wandering around for a wee bit, and then I saw the full moon, and it was like daylight on the road outside the house, and it was just like, oh, it is so beautiful, and it calmed me so much. I managed to get back into bed and fall asleep, which was good. Yeah. Hey, Maribel, wonderful to see you too. Fabulous. Oh, yes. So aquamarine. The My son was he said, oh, I've got the light that you need to show your crystals. And I said, well, my live is Thursday at 2 o'clock. I'll bring it round. Don't you worry. Hasn't turned up. He's a busy boy. That is, where's the crystal? Doesn't really show up much different under the light. You can just see the colors a little bit more brightly, but unlike other ones that have a lot of you can see a lot of inclusions and things in them, that's when a light works beautifully for that. But this is a lovely chunky beautiful solid wee crystal. It's got some peaches and some greens and some blues, and yeah, it's lovely. Yes, this one is raw. Yeah. I've probably got 70-30, so 70% of mine are probably polished and 30% are raw. I find at the moment raw is really drawing me to them, so I have been getting a lot of crystals that I look at, especially for this live that I look at. I tend to go more raw, unless what I find, see, the crystals have got to call to you, and unless I can't find the raw variety, and well, I can find the raw variety, but if it doesn't call to me, then I look at the polished ones and see if something like that is calling to me. I was looking at one yesterday, Mangano, and I thought that would be a beautiful one to do with the lives, and it was 50-50 whether I liked the raw or the polished. So I decided to leave it for the moment, and then just go back to it and see if I'm drawn to one or the other again. So it does. I find that too. I do have a selenite polished, I guess you'd say, little wee like coaster that I always sit my new crystals on that one, but I do have a selenite wand, which I love. While it's sitting on there, I use the wand to just go over the top of the crystals as well. So but yes, it does feel much more muted, so I often leave that crystal on there for a good week, if it's a new crystal, for a good week, sitting on that selenite plate, and because it is not a raw one, and I just feel it just needs that extra time to do its magic. So yeah, but yeah, I actually don't like do karma. My hands, it's like kyanite. When we did kyanite, I could pick it up and touch it, and then I had to put it down. Whereas this, I can sit and fiddle with it. And kyanite and selenite are both the same for me. I don't like touching them. I don't know what it is. There's something in it. Maybe there's too much energy in them. I know kyanite has a lot of energy, and selenite definitely does. And so that could be the reason that the times that I have touched them and picked them up are maybe times where I am full with energy and I don't need any more. So that's how I look at it anyway. Excuse me. All right, there are some crystals that really make their presence known immediately to you, like selenite. like rose, like quartz, because quartz is a master amplifier too, and you can put your crystals beside quartz to cleanse them as well. And you hold them, and you feel an unmistakable surge of energy, and that is a bit like what I was talking about with the selenite and the kyanite. You feel that warmth, you feel that vibration. But aquamarine is different. It doesn't demand your attention like the other those high energy ones do. It just invites you. It just sits there and looks at you and says, has a little wee, come on, come and say hello. And it just has that lovely, softer energy. It's that energy. If you're standing on a beach, you know, the tide is rolling in and the air carries that beautiful fresh salt, scent of salt in it. And then you've got the horizon stretching out endlessly before you. You know, when you're doing that, nothing is rushing. You're just standing there. You're just in that stillness, you know. And that is how I think of aquamarine. and I think it's one of its greatest gifts too. It teaches us that true strength is often very quiet, and you find it in the stillness. And in our world, you know, that celebrates being really loud and really fast and really busy, aquamarine just has beautiful little whispers that tell you that being calm and being still, it's not weakness. It is absolute mastery. And if you can master that in this vibrantly busy world, then that is an absolutely beautiful thing. Like the sea, go back to the sea because it's aquamarine. Go back to the sea, and you know, the sea it can look really raw and dangerous sometimes, you know, and wild, but it is soft as well. It's soft enough to cradle a tiny shell, yet it is absolutely powerful enough to carve mountains over time, obviously. And that's what this crystal reminds me, that, you know, gentleness and strength are not opposites. They are perfect partners. They're beautiful. So when you first start working with aquamarine, I feel a lot of people think it's a communication stone because of its well-known connection to the throat chakra. And yes, it does support speaking, and but its deeper teaching, I think, is something much more profound. Aquamarine, I feel, to me anyway, teaches me to listen. So it teaches us to listen to ourselves, to listen to our intuition, to listen without immediately planning our reply, you know, to listen to that wisdom that often comes, that can often become, you know, drowned out in this busy world and the noise of everyday life. Just imagine a pebble dropping into a perfectly still lake, and then the ripples spread out in every direction, don't they? You know, an aquamarine is about asking us to become like that lake, be still like that lake. And when our mind is calm, even the smallest little insight that we get creates ripples of understanding that travel through every single part of our lives. And something I love about aquamarine is, you know, if we notice how the sea, it never argues with the wind. It just simply responds, sometimes gently, sometimes fiercely, but they're always it's always in harmony with its own nature. And aquamarine teaches us that we don't need to control everything around us. We simply need to respond, from our deepest truth. And that's a beautiful thing that aquamarine offers us. Now, aquamarine has been treasured for thousands of years, really, and almost every culture that encountered it developed stories about its mysterious beauty. There are lots of different colors of aquamarine. Its name comes from the word aqua, obviously. Hey, Robin. Perfect. Listen away. And aqua, obviously, meaning water. And then marina, meaning of the sea. And so together they create that beautiful poetic name, water of the sea. And it's difficult to imagine a more fitting description. It really is. Looking into a fine aquamarine can feel like glazing into clear tropical waters. So if you ever had a polished one, you don't notice it so much in a raw one. If you had a polished one, you would find that much more. That it's like looking into those clear tropical waters. Sunlight is dancing across, the gentle little waves that are there. And the ancient Greeks and Romans believed that aquamarine was the treasure of the mermaids, which I love. I loved it when I found that out. And according to legend, sailors would sometimes find these beautiful blue-green, especially when they're polished. They're vibrant blue-green ones. And they would find those washed ashore after storms. And they believed that they had been carried from hidden kingdoms beneath the ocean. Don't you love that? I love that. The crystal was thought to actually calm angry seas. They had them on their ships because it thought the crystal protected the ships and would help to ensure a safe return home. It became very common for Roman sailors to carry aquamarine tucked into their clothing, or sewn into small little leather pouches aboard their vessels, and they would have these around with them. And before setting sail, the captains sometimes held the crystal over bowls. They would collect bowls of seawater, hold the crystal over bowls of seawater while offering prayers to Neptune, and hoping that the stone would bring favorable winds and calm oceans. Lovely, eh? I love that. Throughout the Middle Ages, aquamarine gained another reputation. It became known as the Stone of Truth. And judges, scholars, and diplomats often kept aquamarine nearby, believing that it encouraged honesty and fair judgment and clear communication. Some medieval writings even described aquamarine as making deception more difficult because it encouraged the heart and the voice to remain aligned. I was so excited when I was looking at all these. It's so precious, isn't it? In Eastern traditions, it's you can get. I should show you some pictures of other ones. I'll have a look in a minute. The as I said, the polished ones are much more vibrant green and blues, and in Eastern traditions, the calm blue color naturally connected it with serenity and meditation and spiritual purification, and many believed that it helped wash away emotional turbulence, just like rivers, cleanse the landscape. But by the Victorian era, aquamarine had become associated with faithful love, lasting friendships, peaceful relationships. Lovers exchanged it as a symbol of trust rather than passion. It represented the kind of love that remains steady throughout all the changing tides. And today aquamarine continues to carry these beautiful ancient themes, and whether you approach it from a geological perspective or a spiritual one, the crystal consistently evokes ideas of calm, of clarity, of courage, and honest expression. It's wonderful. Let me see, I'm going into the varieties of aquamarine. Hey Stephanie, how are you, my darling? Lovely to see you. Let's have a look if I can find some good pictures of... I thought I had a blue-green one, but that one I could not find. Aquamarine pictures. So there you get the idea that, you know, being, let's turn my hand around the right way. That's totally different colors to mine. And that's how you see all those beautiful, beautiful rivers in it. You can, these are all like polished ones rather than raw ones. So they are totally different colors to my raw one, which is wonderful, how they can be so different. And there, that's a tumble stone, that one, and that is more like my colors, but it's still polished. So they're quite fascinating. And although you probably thought when I said about aquamarine that it you would find it as a soft ocean blue, you know, and that's how you imagine it, and it can create a very diverse palette. And the palest aquamarines, like some of those ones I showed you, are almost transparent, with only the faintest whisper of blue in them. And those delicate ones are, they feel a bit more ethereal and beautiful if you want to have a lovely, quiet, still meditation. They're beautiful for that. You have the classic sky blue aquamarines. Just going to have a sip of my lung tea. Oh, it's still a bit hot. It's still a bit hot. They are the most recognizable. Their color resembles a beautiful clear spring, a beautiful clear spring morning above the sea, I think, more than a clear spring. So because you get the blues and the greens of the ocean, so it's like a clear spring morning looking above the sea. And those ones are often associated with peaceful communication and emotional balance. Some of the specimens lean towards a rich blue sea. They almost capture the color of the really deep ocean water that's beneath the bright sunlight. And these stones tend to feel more powerful and expansive. And they often resonate strongly during spiritual work with those ones. Then you have the greenish aquamarines, and they remind us that the crystal is part of the beryl family, and they share subtle characteristics with emerald, and their energy often feels particularly connected to healing, I guess, and compassion and emotional renewal. Collectors occasionally seek the Santa Maria aquamarine, and that's named after the Santa Maria de Itabira, I'm probably not saying that right, mine in Brazil. And these gems are absolutely renowned for their exceptionally vivid blue color. and are among the most treasured aquamarines in the world. They really are. Each variety shares some beautiful, gentle essence, and yet um, their own. They express it in their own unique way. Just like the ocean. The ocean has its own personality wherever you see it. Um, the aquamarine is it belongs to one of the most important mineral families in the crystal world, and that is the beryl family, as I said just a second ago. And when people hear beryl, they often don't realize how extraordinary this family is. It includes some of the world's most famous gemstones. It has emerald, and it has the green, which is the green, has morganite, which I was just talking about actually before we started, which is the pink. It has heliodor, which is the golden yellow, and it has goshenite, and that was actually colorless. And then you have the red beryl, and that is extremely rare. So there's quite a lot in the beryl family. And of course, then you have the aquamarine, which is bluey greens. In other words, aquamarine is the blue member of a remarkably elegant family. It really is. The difference between these crystals come just from tiny trace elements as the crystal is forming. And in aquamarine's case, it's primarily iron that creates its beautiful shades of blue. And such a small chemical variation gives rise to an amazingly different appearance and energetic symbolism as well. Beryl crystals form slowly within granite pegmatites. And there are large pockets of mineral-rich magma that cool over immense periods. And then as nature patiently just builds the crystal, it creates the long hexagonal structures for which beryl is famous. And that slow, deliberate formation then reflects aquamarine's own energy, that patient, steady, and enduring. It is found in many parts of the world, but certain regions have become legendary for producing exceptional specimens. Brazil is probably the most famous source of aquamarine. It yields magnificent crystals of extraordinary clarity and color. Some Brazilian aquamarines have grown to huge sizes, and with museum quality crystals weighing hundreds of kilograms. So it is probably one of the best places. Pakistan's high mountain regions, they produce intensely colored aquamarines, and they are nestled within granite cliffs, and often high up at like breathtaking altitudes. Hey Jen, lovely to see you. Then we have Madagascar, and that has actually become a very important source of aquamarine as well, and that offers the crystals with that more transparency and that subtle sort of green-blue hues that it has. And then you have Nigeria, you have Mozambique, you have Zambia, Kenya, Tanzania. They all produce remarkable specimens too. And each of these specimens reflect their unique geology of their landscapes as well. They are in Russia's Ural Mountains as well, and they have been getting out aquamarines for centuries, and they have helped contribute to that stone's much longer European history, and even here in New Zealand. Although aquamarine is not commonly mined here commercially, it is here, and but its beautiful oceanic symbolism feels absolutely wonderful here, because we are just a long, narrow country with a whole lot of coastlines and beautiful surrounding seas. So I'm at home with aquamarine. I have the ocean about 800 meters away, and it's fabulous. And it's a fabulous crystal to have when you're in such situations. And I do love that, this crystal forms deep within mountains, way up high in the hills there, at great altitudes. That's amazing, because it still carries that ocean spirit, which is beautiful, and it's an absolutely beautiful reminder too that nature can often weave together what seems absolutely impossible, can't it? Absolutely. This is probably one of the hardest I've lost my words, hardest crystal that we've actually come across. I don't think we have done anything that has reached an 8. And aquamarine is a 7.5 to 8 on the Mohs hardness scale, and it makes it one of the most durable crystals for everyday use. You can use this all day, every day, and you won't damage it, because it is really, really hard. Preferably don't drop it on concrete or anything like that, but they still love a little bit of love and care, but it is very, 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 very strong. It is absolutely wonderful for jewelry too. If you make jewelry, find some aquamarine and make a beautiful wave. Make a beautiful wave as a piece of jewelry in aquamarine. That would be stunning. Aquamarine appears delicate sometimes. This one doesn't, because it's a real chunky raw piece. But some of especially the ones that are almost see-through, they can appear delicate and fragile just because of their pale color. But beneath that, there is amazing resilience. And so they still are up there on the 7.5 to 8, even though they don't look like they should be. And that's another lesson we can learn from this crystal, that we should never mistake gentleness for weakness. And it is, as I said before, it's mastery. It's beautiful. Its mineral composition, chemically, aquamarine is beryllium, aluminium, cyclosilicate. Say that fast. Beryllium, aluminium, cryosilicate. And that has a lovely, huge, long formula that is Be3 Al2 Si6 and 018. So if you're a chemist, you'll understand me. It's beautiful blue colors, and especially in the raw. I mean, I've got more greens and grey blues in the raw one, but in the polished ones, you can see that beautiful blue color, and that comes from a trace of iron that is in the crystal as it forms. It actually has a hexagonal crystal system, and that allows light to travel through the stone. So those polished ones, the light will travel through the stone beautifully. I probably should have got a polished one for you to see that, because it's quite spectacular. And aquamarine is famous for its transparency. So not a lot of people go for my chunky one, but I was just drawn to it. Most people like the beauty of those paler blue, almost see-through type ones. And the most rarest ones are what they call fine specimens. They almost seem to glow from within. I've seen them online, and they're just beautiful. And it's like a fragment of clear ocean water has been frozen inside that crystal, and it's just they're stunning. You should look them up. They're really rare ones. Holding aquamarine is a beautiful tactile experience. Unlike a lot of other crystals, others aren't as tactile. The raw pieces, they have the elegant sort of six-sided prism type thing, with natural flat sides. See, so I've got natural flat sides on my raw one. And they have the vertical striations on it, running along the length of it. So you can see that running along the length of it. It's cool. They feel cool, and smooth. It feels smooth. It almost feels like a polished one, but it's not. And because all the edges have been softened by nature over millions of years. Blue topaz. No, I haven't actually looked into blue topaz too much. I don't know why. Blue topaz. It's maybe we should look into it just for something different. Blue topaz. Let me see if I can find something. Oh, let's look at blue topaz. There we go. Blue topaz versus aquamarine. Now, if you look this up, blue topaz and aquamarine are both durable blue gemstones. They significantly differ in origin, which I can understand, and price as well. Aquamarine is a rare crystal, and it's from the beryl family, and blue topaz is even hardier than aquamarine, and it's more affordable. There you go. It's blue topaz it's what they call highly refracted, which you put that one under a light, and there'll be amazing colors in it. This is interesting too. Its durability, it's good, but it has what they call perfect cleavage. I've heard of that before, and that makes it susceptible to chipping if it's dropped or on harder sort of impact. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Hey Dina, lovely to see you. Beautiful teachers here, Melanie and Dina, fabulous. So yes, it's just all those edges have been softened by nature over millions of years. Polished aquamarine has, it's like an almost silky quality actually, and with the polished ones, as I've been saying, the light moves through it rather than reflecting from its surface. So instead of like sparkling really dramatically, probably like topaz or like quartz, it just glows. and it creates a beautiful sense of depth and tranquility. You can spend a lot of time, especially the polished ones, but I spend a lot of time just sitting with this one and just looking at it, because there's so much in it. Even in the raw one, I can see all the inside little rivers in it. Probably not as clearly as the polished, but you can see it there. Especially on that side, you can see it there on that side. It's like the ocean inside there, and you can just sit with it and just see what else just jumps out at you. It's really, really cool. So a lot of crystals do call to be sat with and looked at and meditated with. And you will just notice, if you sit and look at the aquamarine, that it's like waves rolling onto a shore. Just helps you to the mind to settle naturally. Yes, just pure. Yeah. It's fabulous. Now, if I had to describe aquamarine's energetic signature, I'd say it's the wisdom of flow, because its energy, it doesn't push, it doesn't demand, it certainly doesn't overwhelm. A lot of crystals can overwhelm you quite easily as well. It just helps to dissolve resistance as well, and it teaches us that life is less about forcing outcomes and more about learning when to flow and when to pause, and when to trust the currents that are already carrying us. And its presence, it just brings a feeling of spaciousness. I find when I sit with it, my thoughts become clearer. My emotions definitely settle, and it's like they're settling as sediment, in the bottom of clear water. That's how I liken it when I sit with it. And those things that you wake up at night and it's all tangled, and you sit with aquamarine and everything, your thoughts and everything start to untangle. It's also fabulous when you work with it that you will find that you become less reactive to things as well. You will begin responding rather than reacting, and conversations will become much more honest. Decisions will become much less rushed. Intuition will become easier to hear, and that's all because those inner waters have grown still. Aquamarine, I love also to think about it as a lighthouse, standing at the edge of a really rugged coastline. And it doesn't stand there to chase the ships. It doesn't shout directions into the wind to them. It just shines. It shines its beautiful, steady light, and it allows others to find their own safe passage. And I think that's aquamarine's beautiful, true gift. It doesn't tell us what to do. It helps us just become calm enough to hear the wisdom that's inside us. It's been with us all along, and it just helps us to be still enough and calm enough to hear it. The healing uses. Aquamarine is definitely about flow. So everything about this crystal just encourages movement, and it doesn't have to be real hurried, rushed movement, and definitely not restless movement. but that beautiful, graceful flow that we see in nature. We see that in nature, that beautiful, graceful flow. So think of a river finding its way around the stones, or the ocean that's just been coming in and out and in and out, and it's just changing the shape of the cliffs over thousands of years, just from its gentle in and its gentle out. And yes, it can be raging in and raging out, but it's a slow reshaping. Water very rarely forces its way forward, but given enough time, there is very little it cannot transform either. And aquamarine invites us to heal in the same way. Many of us spend enormous amounts of energy resisting our emotions. Our emotions are beautiful, and acknowledge them and let them do what they want to do. And we also hold on to conversations. I know I do that. And I sit after a conversation and I think, oh, I should have said that. Oh, and I should have said that. it's like, don't do that. Don't hold on to that conversation. It's been had. It's gone. It's in the past. Leave it. Don't replay painful memories. We all do that. I do that. Suppress tears. I used to do that. My tears are what I call sacred water now. And if they want to come, they come. I don't care when it happens. If they want to be released, then they're going to be released. Sometimes we swallow words. Yes, sometimes we swallow words that we wish we'd spoken. And I'm very good at that. Very good at that. And that comes back to going back to the old conversations. I sit there and think, well, I should have said that. And should have, could have, would have. It's past. It's gone. And a lot of us carry burdens that aren't ours to carry. And so, over time, those emotions just begin to settle within us like silt in a once clear stream. And that water is still there, but it becomes cloudy. Aquamarine doesn't ask us to dig aggressively through that sediment. Instead, it's just, encourages the waters to move again. And as they start to begin to flow, then all that beautiful focus, that clear mind, everything like that will just naturally return. Emotionally, aquamarine is often used during times of anxiety, overwhelm, grief, emotional exhaustion. It is especially supportive for those people who feel like everything deeply. And I'm probably not one of those people. Not everything, but you struggle to express what you're carrying, and aquamarine is beautiful for that. Many beautiful sensitive souls become so accustomed to just looking after everyone else's emotions and their emotional needs, and they forget to tend to themselves and tend to their own beautiful inner landscape. And aquamarine just reminds us that our heart deserves the same kindness that we so freely give to others. We have to look after ourselves before we can give beautifully. Angel aura quartz. I love it. And I think it is a beautiful one to cleanse your aura in one go. This one that I'm wearing I actually prefer, which is the Seven Sisters, or the Seven it's the Seven Sisters or the Seven the Super 7 is what other people call it too, the Super 7, and there's another name for it. But this one I actually prefer better, especially from that point of view, Peter. And I can, I feel this one does more for me than the Angel Aura Quartz. And it is a beautiful crystal. And it is, if you have one crystal, I'd either go for that one, the Angel Aura Quartz. I love its sort of shimmery, watery colors that it has. And it is what they call a natural quartz, but it is heated in a vacuumed chamber, and so it vaporizes the precious metals, so that they bond to the crystal surface more. So they're like a little rainbow when you look at them. They're fabulous, but they do say they're an all healer as well. But natural quartz, without being an angel aura quartz, is, to me, is just as good. But as I said, this Super 7 is my go-to healing one. But as for beauty and looking at it, it is amazing. The Angel Aura Quartz, it is like a rainbow in a crystal. It's beautiful. So if you haven't seen one, have a look for one, because they are, in their own right, they're a beautiful crystal. But I love all crystals. So, but yes, from what I would use a Angel Aura Quartz, I would use this instead. But yeah, it's fabulous, fabulous. Where were we? Pleasure, Peter. I love answering questions like that. That's beautiful. If you're that sort of person that doesn't like conflict, it helps support you with that. You know, there are many people that remain silent. Me, simply just to keep the peace. And you know, it's that erodes our confidence when we do that. You know, and aquamarine teaches that true peace is not created by avoiding difficult conversations. It's created when our words and our hearts and our actions are in harmony. And then if they are, then those difficult conversations are going to be a breeze. Aquamarine doesn't actually encourage us to speak more. It just encourages us to speak more truthfully. And sometimes that means finding your voice, your unique, beautiful voice. And other times it means discovering the wisdom of silence too. The know when to and the when not to. Energetically, aquamarine is, I think I often say this about all the crystals, or most of them, but again, it's just like feeling like every window in the house is open after a really long winter, you know. All that stagnant air leaves, the fresh air enters, that heavy energy that you get when your doors and windows have to be closed during a heavy winter, long winter, that starts to circulate again and become lighter. Excuse me. People often describe that when they're meditating with aquamarine, they feel lighter. And that's not because your problems have disappeared. It's just because you've been able to create space so that they no longer feel so overwhelming. Spiritually, aquamarine teaches surrender, and that's not giving up. It's just letting go of all that unnecessary resistance. It just reminds us that not every single wave needs to be fought. Pick your mountains, as they say. You don't have to fight everything. Sometimes you just need to ride that wave. There is amazing freedom in knowing and learning the difference. On a physical level, as I always say, crystals are not a substitute for medical care, but they work alongside beautifully. And aquamarine has actually been associated with in traditional crystal healing for a long time, and supporting the vocal cords and respiratory system, and because it's connected to the throat chakra, so it's that relationship with communication and breath. It is also connected symbolically with soothing the nervous system, and encouraging deep calm breathing as well. And holding aquamarine while you take slow mindful breaths can become wonderfully calming. It's a beautiful calming ritual. Get one, hold it, and then just take some beautiful long deep breaths. And those breaths, the more you do, the energy from the crystal will just make you breathe without even thinking out. Those beautiful deep breaths without even thinking about it. And so, like I said, it's the throat chakra. The throat chakra, it's not the only chakra it's connected to, and we will get into that. And limiting it to one chakra is just like saying the ocean only touches one shoreline. Its influence, extends far beyond that. So the throat chakra is its main connection, and it's its natural home. And that governs our communication, our self-expression, our honesty, the ability to live in alignment with our truth. And communication is far more than just speaking. It's about expressing who we truly are. And if you're one of those people that has difficulty communicating because you can't find the right words, then aquamarine is beautiful to have tucked into a pocket, and fabulous. Or as I often say, pop it in in your bra. And you'll find too that challenge of, especially with communicating, often comes from somewhere deeper as well. And we can often spend years editing ourselves to fit into expectations of others, and aquamarine is very good at dissolving those layers of self-censorship. It's a beautiful crystal that helps us bridge the gap between what we know internally and what we express externally. And when those two become aligned, then something amazing happens. Our relationships become so much more authentic. Our boundaries are healthier, and our confidence is much stronger. It's also connected to the heart chakra, and that is less frequently discussed, but it has a good relationship with the heart chakra. Definitely, and that's from a compassion viewpoint. The third eye is the other one that it's connected to. It's about before we can speak wisely, we must hear clearly, and we have two ears and one mouth, so you need to hear twice and then speak. And aquamarine just encourages that we listen to our intuition with the same attention we give to those external voices. It's also connected with the crown chakra too, and it's not a primary connection, but it does resonate with the crown chakra through its association with surrender. And so aquamarine, as I said, teaches us that surrender is not weakness. It is participation in something so much greater than ourselves. So aquamarine is not simply a meditation crystal, it is a companion, and a companion for everyday life. If you have important conversations coming up, hold aquamarine for a few moments, or keep it tucked in your pocket, or whatever. And then you'll find you'll have to do less rehearsing as well. You'll be confident in what you have to speak out. And you'll find probably that your communication will become much clearer and calmer and much more genuine. You can use aquamarine in journaling as well, and aquamarine helps our thoughts to flow much more freely. And if you are a journaler that often asks yourself questions during your journaling, the answers can naturally flow so much better as well. At work, it is fabulous in a workplace, again, because it helps us respond rather than react, and it's fabulous to have there. In relationships, for the same reason probably too, but it encourages honest and compassionate dialogue. Aquamarine is absolutely wonderful during meditation. It is not just a meditation stone, like a lot of crystals are, but it is still a wonderful meditation tool. I find I use it more for breath work when I'm doing it and using it. Wonderful for moon rituals, or if you're going into a forest and you're going to be sitting by a waterfall or a natural stream, or you're going down to the ocean to sit by the ocean, take aquamarine with you. It loves being near the water. And just hold it and listen to that rhythm of the waves. Or, even just a flowing stream can become an absolute profound practice of meditation. It's beautiful, and we're part of nature's great cycle of movement, so you can be part of it too. Take time to be part of it as well. The ocean, it never apologizes for having tides. Some days it's calm, some days it's mild, but it just remains completely itself. Perhaps maybe we could be a little more like the sea, just allowing ourselves to have seasons without believing we have failed. And yeah, hi CG, another beautiful teacher. Now it's archetypes. Archetypes are they're like a timeless pattern of energy that appears through mythology, through psychology, through storytelling, and spiritual traditions. So it's not a personality per se. It's a role that lives within every human being. And I've got this beautiful new book. I have two of this lady's book. Her Witch's Apothecary, her Essential Oils Apothecary, I think it is, and this one was her Beauty Apothecary. And you did a little quiz at the beginning of it to decide which was your archetype. And I came out the healer, which was lovely. So we all have that inside us. There's the wise elder, the healer, like I just said, the explorer, the teacher, or the guardian. I had a little bit of mystic in me too. And these figures appear in cultures across the world. And that's because they represent universal aspects of the human journey. And aquamarine, it doesn't make us wise, but it just helps us reconnect with wisdom that we already carry. Excuse me. I shouldn't have had my dinner beforehand. I think it's the peacekeeper is the obvious archetype for aquamarine. The peacekeeper is often misunderstood. The peacekeeper is not someone who avoids conflict, but nor are they someone who says yes to everything simply to keep others happy. A true peacekeeper understands that lasting peace can never be built upon dishonesty. And aquamarine teaches us that peace begins with inner alignment. So when our thoughts and our emotions and our words and actions all point in the same direction, conflict decreases because we're no longer fighting ourselves either. So imagine you're standing on a shoreline after a storm and the waves have gradually started to become smaller. The sky is clearing, everything is settling. That is the peacekeeper, and that is aquamarine. It's not someone who controls the weather. It's someone who trusts it will eventually change. And working with aquamarine helps us become that beautiful, calm presence within our families, within our friendships, at our workplaces, in the community. And you'll find that people often start to seek advice because they know that we can listen deeply before offering anything. And we become that person who offers that others that feel safe to speak. They can come to you and speak and be comfortable with you. And often we don't have all the answers, but if we create space for truth, then we can be there for people. And working with aquamarine just makes that energy much more visible. And the peacekeeper, it doesn't silence storms, it just becomes the lighthouse within them. It's also connected with the truth speaker, and sometimes the kindest thing we can do is tell the truth with compassion. Other times it's the wise navigator, and aquamarine was used by sailors, so for safe passage. So it's a beautiful symbolism there. My pleasure, Zizzy. Lovely. I'm so glad you love them. I love doing them. And as I said right at the beginning, before too many people were here, how much I learn and gain too. I have studied crystals and essential oils for a long time, but I learn so much more when I'm delivering it to you as well, which is beautiful. Oh, my darling, thank you so very much. Bless you. Bless you. It's also the sacred listener as well, aquamarine. And, we live in a world that is full of talking, and the sacred listener listens. And that's beautiful. Definitely the ocean mystic. That is part of ourselves that understands life is filled with mystery. Trust the unseen currents that are moving beneath your ordinary life, because things are always happening. One of my favorite things about aquamarine is that some of the largest crystals ever discovered weigh hundreds of kilograms. And it just seems extraordinary that a crystal carrying such beautiful, quiet, gentle energy can grow to such magnificent proportions. And so nature reminds us that gentleness and greatness can exist together. Many aquamarines naturally form with exceptional clarity. And gem cutters sometimes describe them as holding light rather than reflecting it, which is why those very rare fine specimens appear to glow from within. Historically, aquamarine was sometimes placed beneath the tongue as well, which is an interesting one. And it was not as medicine, but as a symbolic ritual before important speeches or negotiations. Probably not many people do that now because of the iron content in it, but it was something that used to be done. It was the belief that the stone would help align the speaker's words with their highest truth. During the Renaissance, aquamarine was often engraved with frogs. Don't you love that? Rather than being an odd, very odd decorative choice, frogs represented harmony between water and land, transformation and emotional renewal. So, beautiful, eh? In some marine traditions, sailors believed aquamarine should never be purchased for yourself before a voyage. Instead, it was always given as a gift, symbolizing the love and the prayers of those waiting at home. They never purchased them themselves. They were always a gift. And even today, aquamarine is probably one of the most beloved gemstones for engagement rings as well. Diamonds often symbolize endurance, and aquamarine symbolizes trust, understanding, and clear communication, all beautiful things that you need for a lasting relationship. Those are the qualities that allow love to endure. One of the loveliest ways to work with aquamarine is just simply time near water while holding it. Beautiful. Whether you sit beside the ocean or a river or a lake or even a garden fountain, it's still water. Just allow that crystal to become part of that experience. Just close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of the water. Notice how your own breathing starts to match that rhythm. And aquamarine just comes alive when it's surrounded by the element it so beautifully represents. Aquamarine is also a wonderful companion during difficult conversations. Rather than thinking of it as something that will magically change the outcome, just think of it as a reminder. Some people place aquamarine beside a glass bowl of water during the meditation. And then it's not to make an elixir, but you can still drink that water if you have the aquamarine beside it, definitely not in it. But it's a beautiful symbolic pairing as well. The light, do it outside as well. The light will catch the crystal and the water. And that is a beautiful reminder of reflection and flow. Birds and aquamarine with the bird bath. Absolutely. I love that, Jen. I love that. Fabulous. It is a beautiful stone to keep beside your bed as well. If you're one of those people that your mind is busy at night, just looking at it, and it's beautiful. The polished one is probably better than the raw one because you've got that beautiful, rich blue, tranquil blue tone in it, and that just relaxes you into sleep, just calms you reminds you of beautiful waves, which will calm you. Um, and just imagine those waves of the ocean under a moon as well, while you're looking into it. And oh, beautiful, beautiful. Now, aquamarine is a very durable crystal. Thank you, Dina. Uh, it does resist scratching quite well and chipping and that, but it will still do it if you drop it on concrete or maybe on some tiles or something like that. It might. And don't keep it with your other harder gemstones like diamonds or sapphires or anything else that is as such a hard stone as well. Just to preserve it so it doesn't knock against them and crack any of them. So it's beautiful. If aquamarine could leave one final teaching, I think it would be this. I think it's the ocean. It doesn't become magnificent because it never encounters storms. It becomes magnificent because it knows how to welcome every tide, every current, every season, while never forgetting its own vastness. And I think that's why a lot of people are drawn to this crystal. It's not because you need or we need fixing. It's not because we're broken. It's because somewhere deep inside, we're remembering that beneath the surface noise of everyday life, there is already an ocean of wisdom waiting inside you. There really is. And aquamarine doesn't place that wisdom there. It just simply stills the waters long enough for you to see your own reflection clearly. And when you finally do, you may discover that the calm that you've been searching for was never way beyond the horizon. It's been flowing through you all along, as constant and timeless as the sea itself. Beautiful. That is aquamarine. That is someone sending me a message. All right, jasmine. So let's move from aquamarine onto jasmine. Oh, jasmine. Some essential oils just arrive with a burst of energy. They announce themselves immediately. Peppermint awakens, grapefruit sparkles, eucalyptus clears the mind, the nose, the everything in an instant. Jasmine, it's very different. It just slowly, yes, it is. I'm surprised I've left it for half a year to actually do it, because it is actually, when you study essential oils, you do parts of the course are about your signature scent, and jasmine is my signature scent. It goes in just about every blend I make, because it is me. It is all me, and I'm surprised that I hadn't used it yet. It is a fragrance that is, it's almost alive. It's, especially when you put it in a blend, it's like revealing one layer after another. It's like undoing all those layers, inviting you into a conversation, rather than making a big, bright, sparky first impression. The first breath that you take with jasmine, it may seem rich and floral, but stay with it, keep breathing with it for a few moments, and you'll start noticing honey, warm fruits, delicate, beautiful tea. I've got jasmine buds in lots of my teas, soft spices, fresh greenery, and something almost impossible to describe, really. And it's a scent that many perfumers call living flowers. And that complexity mirrors the energy of jasmine itself. It doesn't change moods instantly. It just invites you back into yourself. It reminds you that beneath all your responsibilities and worries and routines, there is joy, there is creativeness, there's a beautifully, deeply loving soul waiting to bloom. I often liken jasmine to an old wise grandmother. You know, she never interrupts. She never raises her voice. She just sits beside you until you remember what you've always known. And jasmine has been treasured for thousands of years. And it's not because it tells us who we should become, because it lovingly reminds us who we already are. You know, one of my favorite things to say when talking about jasmine is that, you know, some flowers bloom in the brilliant light of day, eager to be admired. But jasmine waits till the evening. And it teaches us that not everything precious needs to happen under a big spotlight. You know, some of our greatest transformations happen in the early night of our life, you know, in the gentle hours when the world finally becomes still enough for us to hear our own soul. That's beautiful about it. Jasmine's story, it stretches across continents, cultures, and thousands of years, weaving itself through mythology, medicine, perfumery, lots of different sacred rituals. Most historians, beautiful hearts, most historians believe that jasmine first flourished in the warm regions of the Himalayas, northern India, western China, and then it gradually spread through Persia and Egypt and the Mediterranean. And wherever it traveled, people fell in love with it. Its name comes from the Persian word yasmin, meaning gift from God or fragrant flower. And even its name carries a sense of reverence. In ancient ancient India, jasmine became known as the queen of the night, because many varieties open their blossoms after sunset and then release that beautiful, strong, rich fragrance beneath the moonlight, which is fabulous. Temples were decorated with jasmine garlands. Brides wore fresh flowers in their hair, and the blossoms were often used during ceremonies honoring love and beauty and divine union. Within Ayurvedic tradition, jasmine represented the awakening of the heart. It was believed that just as the flower opened to the moon, our soul, our human soul, could open to compassion, creativity, and joy. And then jasmine traveled to Persia, and it became associated with paradise itself. Persian gardens were designed not simply to delight the eye, but to actually awaken every sense. And so jasmine climbed walls that framed walkways and perfumed evening air, you know, creating beautiful spaces where people could experience poetry, peace, and contemplation. The Egyptians, they adored jasmine as a beautiful perfume, but also as a sacred offering as well. Hello, Andrea, my love. Lovely to see you. Priests would place blossoms in temples, believing that scent created awesome. I love that. Ah, I'm glad I'm telling the truth. Fabulous. Um, they um, they believed that the scent carried a bridge between the earthly and the divine, and because the fragrance became strongest after sunset, jasmine then naturally became linked with mystery and dreams and the unseen world. Yes, a lot of us do, don't we? I love it. I've got jasmine growing out in my garden. I just love it. Just down where I walk used to walk past when I could walk. They have an amazing hedge of jasmine. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I don't know why so many of us want to kill it off. Knowing our horticultural or our government, they probably labelled it as a weed. Like beautiful agapanthus, they've named as a weed. By the time jasmine reached Europe through the ancient trade routes, it had become one of the most prized botanical treasures imaginable. During the Renaissance, royalty commissioned entire gardens devoted to jasmine. Perfumers in France spent decades perfecting methods to capture its elusive fragrance, leading eventually to the famous jasmine absolute. And that's produced around the town of Grasse. And if you're going to get jasmine absolute as an essential oil. Absolutely. Throughout history, one theme appears again and again. People believed jasmine could lift sorrow, and I can see that because its fragrance is just lifts you beautifully. To open your heart, to inspire love, to awaken creativity, and just to remind us that beauty is not luxury, it is nourishment for our soul. It's a beautiful, beautiful essential oil. Botanically, jasmine belongs to the absolutely beautiful Oliaceae family, which is actually sometimes known as the olive family. And I bet you're surprised by that. Because olive trees seem very different to the delicate jasmine vines, but they share that same botanical history or ancestry. And other members of that family include, as well as the olive, lilac, forsythia, ash trees, and privet. Privet is there as well. Now, I don't like privet. And what makes the Oliaceae family so fascinating is that many of its members embody beautiful themes of endurance, peace, and renewal. It's the olive branch. You know, the olive branch has been symbolized for peace for thousands of years. And lilac represents memory and first love. Yes, yeah. Yeah, it does. And ash trees appear in myths and as bridges to between worlds. And jasmine brings together many of those same qualities, becoming the flowering expression of that family's beautiful grace, and reminds us that true beauty often grows from very strong roots. Now, not all jasmine smells the same. Each variety carries its own personality. You have jasmine grandiflorum. That is often called the royal jasmine or the Spanish jasmine. And it is probably the best known one in aromatherapy. Its fragrance is very luminous, soft, very elegant. It has little gentle sort of green notes woven through its beautiful rich floral sweetness. And you will probably find that one as more nurturing and compassionate, very emotionally balancing. That one is like the wise healer of the jasmine family. Then you have Jasminium sambac. That is also known as Arabian jasmine, and it is entirely different. It's richer, it's warmer, it's much more intoxicating, and it carries much more deep honeyed notes, and with little hints of tropical fruit as well, and some exotic spice in there. And that is the jasmine that is often woven into the garlands throughout Asia and used to scent exquisite teas as well. Energetically, sambac feels more mystical, passionate, and deeply heart-opening as well. Then we have Jasminium officinale, and that is common jasmine, or often poet's jasmine. I like that better. It has a much lighter, greener fragrance, a lovely, fresh, floral brightness. It evokes that moonlit gardens and beautiful, quiet evenings. Carrying a lovely, gentle, contemplative quality that many associate with peace and inspiration. Hello, dear Chris. Lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. There is ornamental species as well, like the winter jasmine. That is Jasminium nudiflorum. And that one is admired for its beautiful, cheerful yellow flowers. And it's beautiful in a garden, but that one is not generally used for its aromatic extraction because they contain very little fragrance. So you've gone from one extreme to the other. And what is so beautiful about each variety and how they express the same essential oil nature, but in a different way. And we do that too. We are just like that. One is comforting, another is deeply sensual, another is fresh and uplifting, but they all are unmistakably jasmine. So if jasmine were a circle of friends, each variety would be the one everyone turns to for something different. So you've got your royal jasmine, which is the counselor, and that is the one that sits and helps you with grieving and weary hearts and that. Then you have the Arabian jasmine, and that's the mystic and the artist, and that awakens the creativity and celebrates beauty. Then you have the common jasmine, and that is the storyteller. It walks through moonlit gardens and it collects wisdom and it helps us rediscover wonder in ordinary moments. Yet beneath all these personalities, they share one essence. Jasmine helps us bloom, and not because it changes who we are, just because it lovingly removes the fear that has kept us closed. It is beautiful. Now, describing jasmine. Well, describing jasmine is rather like trying to describe moonlight reflected on water. Every person notices something slightly different, and that's part of its magic. It is. At first inhale, jasmine is unmistakable in its floral richness. It is sweet, but not sugary. It's lush, but still beautifully refined. And almost immediately you'll notice the delicate honey notes that start to emerge, and wrapping the fragrance in a beautiful, comforting warmth that feels familiar, but also luxurious. And then if you stay with it for a little bit longer, you'll start seeing hints of apricot, soft banana, juicy pear. You'll see all that woven together with whispers of fresh green leaves and newly opened blossoms. And there is a beautiful tea-like elegance beneath the fruit, lending jasmine an almost meditative calm. It really is. Oh, you're trying to grow it there. Probably, is it too dry, maybe, in Colorado? Not sure, Stephanie. Are you trying to grow it in your garden or in a pot? It might work better in a pot, possibly. As the fragrance then starts to unfold, you've got spices, you've got warm earth that starts to reveal itself. You've yes, yeah, probably is, Jen, yeah, and Stephanie. The deeper notes, they prevent jasmine from becoming overly delicate or fleeting, because often if it's a deeper note, it is that instant hit and then it's gone. But it's still jasmine, then still in a pot, yeah. Jasmine still has beautiful depth and longevity, and it's like the warmth of a summer evening, lingering along even after the sun has disappeared. Yeah. Maybe you need to shift your pot somewhere. It's hard to know, isn't it? Hard to know. Perfumers often describe jasmine as living, just because its scent seems to evolve continuously, especially when you put it on your skin. When you spray it in the air, they're very different fragrances, even if you use the same sort of blend. It's not a fragrance that you just simply smell. It's one you experience, and you can discover all the little wee nuances in each time. Each time you come back to it, you'll smell something different. It's always changing, and that is beautiful, because it's not static. And who doesn't want to be not static? It's keep unfolding, keep moving, keep growing in your throughout your life, and jasmine is like that. Jasmine, here we go. This might help, Stephanie and Jen. Jasmine is cultivated in many of the warm regions of the world, but some of the places have been very renowned for producing exceptional blossoms. So India remains one of the spiritual and aromatic homes for jasmine. It has huge fields, and that's beneath the tropical sun, and the flowers are usually harvested before dawn. That's why, when their fragrance is at their peak. And so in many parts of India, fresh jasmine garlands are still being used in temples and weddings and festivals, carrying huge centuries of living tradition. In Egypt, grows well in Florida. Yeah, it would. Yeah, Egypt is it has the world's finest, absolutely known for the world's finest Jasminium grandiflorum. It's because of the fertile Nile Valley, with its long days and cool evenings, and that creates beautiful conditions there. And harvesting is still done largely by hand, with thousands of delicate blossoms gathered in the early morning before the day's heat begins to diminish the scent. In France, specifically around the Grasse region, it's been used in perfumery, uh, and as it's the heart of their perfumery. And excuse me, I might have some water. And the quantities are much smaller today than centuries ago, but fresh jasmine is absolutely synonymous with elegance and craftsmanship. Excuse me. China, it grows extensively in China. That's the Jasminium sambuc that they grow there mostly. And it has become more than a fragrance. It is a cultural symbol of purity and harmony and joy. And then in Morocco, Italy, and parts of Spain as well, they grow beautiful jasmine there as well. Each of their climates creates subtle differences as well to that final aromatic profile. And it seems wonderfully fitting that a flower associated with love and connection should be home to so many corners of the world. It's fabulous. Jasmine, unlike lavender or peppermint or eucalyptus, it can't usually be captured through steam distillation. Its blossoms are just too delicate. The heat that works so beautifully for many aromatic plants, many of them are steam distilled, would damage jasmine's beautiful fragile fragrance. And the process for it's an aromatic material that they commonly use in aromatherapy is mostly jasmine absolute. And so the process that they use is with careful hand harvesting of the blossoms, and then the fresh flowers are then placed in a solvent extraction process, and the solvent dissolves all the fragrant compounds, the waxes and the aromatic molecules from all the petals of the blossoms, and then that creates a rich waxy substance, and it's known as concrete, which is interesting. The concrete is then further refined with food grade alcohol, which separates the fragrant molecules from the waxes. And then once the alcohol has evaporated, what remains is the beautifully, intensely aromatic jasmine absolute. It's thick, it's golden to amber in colour, and it is astonishingly concentrated. So you only need a drop or two with the absolute one. Historically, though, they never used to do it that way. Fresh jasmine was laid out in trays, and they coated those with purified animal fat, and every day the spent flowers were replaced with fresh ones, and sometimes for weeks, until the fat became saturated with the fragrance. And then that fragrant pomade was then washed with alcohol to capture the aroma. An amazingly painstaking process, but it preserved the flower's delicate soul in a way few other methods could. Hello, Sam. Lovely to see you too. So many teachers here. It's beautiful. Sam is another beautiful teacher if you don't know him. He is, his music is just outstanding. But more recently, CO2 extraction has become available for jasmine. And in that process, carbon dioxide under high pressure acts as the extracting agent. And when the pressure is released, the carbon dioxide evaporates and leaving behind the pure extract. And many aromatherapists these days prefer the CO2 jasmine because it retains the aroma much closer to the living flower, and so it doesn't have as many solvent residues as well. Healing with jasmine, it's a flower of romance, but that description it really scratches the surface. If rose taught us how to love gently and lavender teaches us how to rest, well then jasmine teaches us how to become fully alive. It awakens parts of ourselves that have become quiet through disappointment, exhaustion, and it encourages you to bloom once again. It is an extraordinary essential oil, and jasmine is like the first warm breeze that just whispers to the sleeping roots that it's safe to grow again, and that's what it says to you as well. Jasmine has long been associated with lifting your spirit, so it's beautiful emotionally, helps in times of sadness and loss of confidence as well, and it just offers a beautiful comfort without feeling heavy, and our heart remembers that joy is possible when we smell jasmine. One of the most beautiful gifts that jasmine brings is its ability to help restore our self-worth. There are seasons in life when we forget our own value and become so busy caring for others and meeting expectations and just surviving, and we lose touch of our own inner light, and jasmine just gently, beautifully shines that light back in towards us. It's fabulous. Energetically, it encourages movement when energy has become stagnant. So it's like opening the door and letting that fresh air in and letting it circulate. And so it helps awaken and lift heaviness, awakens our inspiration, and encourages a beautiful natural life force to flow again. It's fabulous. Spiritually, as I said before in the historical section, it is being connected, has a divine connection. Its beautiful, intoxicating fragrance is fabulous to quiet that analytical mind, just enough for intuition to emerge. It is wonderful during meditation, and many people find jasmine creates an atmosphere where prayer and contemplation and inner listening becomes so much easier. And it just helps remind us that that there is beautiful sacredness in ordinary moments, in a sunrise. It happens every day, but how often do we just stop and go, wow? In a cup of tea, a heartfelt conversation, or just the simple act of actually breathing, and that is what beautiful jasmine helps us remember. And on a physical level, it is fabulous for encouraging relaxation and relieving tension. Beautiful for sleep as well. Lovely, helps with beautiful restful sleep, because it's a beautiful comforting aroma, and it just has helps you release all those things that you need to release to get into a beautiful state of restful sleep. Its energy signature, it it has a unique energetic rhythm. Really, it's like it's like it almost it's almost as though it has its own heartbeat. If I had to describe jasmine in a single phrase, it would be the courage to bloom. And unlike stimulating oils that that sometimes radiate outward, or the grounding oils that draw us inward, jasmine just expands that center of the heart. It's like movement. It's like watching a flower slowly unfurl its petals, beneath the moon. It's beautiful. Yes, take a moment, stop and take a moment. Enjoy those beautiful wonders in our daily life. Jasmine energy feels warm. It's not fiery. It's beautiful and just warm. Gives us beautiful confidence. It just reminds us that we're not here merely to exist. We are meant to flourish. And many people notice that jasmine awakens forgotten parts of themselves as well. Creativity returns after months of feeling uninspired. Laughter becomes more easy. Dreams, they start just feeling like you can actually achieve them, that they're possible. And that's not, jasmine isn't changing us. It just clears our thought patterns, and it just helps us come back into our natural vitality. It's connected to the heart chakra. That is its primary connection. That is its home. And it's described as the center of love. It's where we learn not only to love ourselves, though, but to receive love, extend kindness to others, have that emotional balance. Jasmine supports this chakra because its fragrance encourages our heart to soften. Not to the point of fragility. It doesn't want you to be fragile. It just to soften. And how many of us build armor around our hearts when we have disappointment or grief or something like that? And that armor that we create around us stops us. We think it protects us from the pain, but it also stops us from experiencing joy and intimacy and genuine connection. Jasmine won't tear that armor away, but it just reminds the heart that it's not there to live behind walls forever. Walls are good for sometimes, but not forever. Jasmine is a fabulous, wonderful companion during times of emotional healing and relationship work, or just simply learning to treat yourself with greater kindness as well. It's connected to the sacral chakra as well. It's a beautiful floral oil, and the sacral chakra governs creativity, and that's what jasmine brings out in the floralness of it, that pleasure, that emotional flow. It's connected to the solar plexus as well. A lot of people don't actually connect it to the solar plexus, but it does. It's probably one of its most empowering connections, actually. Not its strongest, but its most empowering one, because it reminds us that our greatest strength comes from not becoming someone else, but from fully being ourselves. And then we just simply bloom. And then the crown chakra. And the crown chakra is, because throughout history jasmine has been used in sacred ways, in the garlands and the temples, and it has accompanied meditation and prayer and all those sacred ceremonies. And so its fragrance naturally encourages stillness and receptivity in us. And that's where the crown chakra comes in. To use it in your everyday life, I have it in pretty much all my blends that I use on my body and my face, and on my shower wash and all that, because as I said, it's my signature scent. But one of the simplest ways is maybe instead of reaching for your phone, or rushing into that list of tasks you have to do, just stop just for a minute and take a slow breath of jasmine fragrance, and then just see how everything shifts. Even ask yourself, how do I want to bloom today? And just see how things change, how much productivity you might achieve more. You can journal with it. It is lovely aroma to journal with. It creates a atmosphere of honesty, actually, when you're journaling. It helps your thoughts flow with surprising ease, actually. It is beautiful for journaling. Definitely use it during meditation. Even just a single drop on your wrist, or on a diffuser, anything like that. In the link tree, I've put all the blends up, and I'm pretty sure I've got an anointing oil there, and that is beautiful for putting on your pulse points, behind your ears, on your heart space, when you're meditating. It's fabulous. Ah, fabulous, Sam. How wonderful. That's lovely. Yeah, I use, I make them in these, and these are little rollerball, little wee bottles that I make my oils in. Yeah, this one's got jasmine in it, and it's beautiful. And I've got a whole lot of, this one's nearly out actually, a whole lot of different blends in it. Groaning, oh yeah, to reach over there, it's like, oh. Yes, so definitely use it in meditation. You see, you could buy one of these. See, I made this one, Sam. You can buy one of these and make it yourself. It's beautiful. Jasmine is beautiful for, yeah, you would make that sound, yeah. Beautiful for creative work, for writers, for artists, for musicians. It's fabulous to awaken imagination. And it doesn't create restlessness, it just awakens your imagination beautifully. And because it's connected to the heart chakra, it is a beautiful for relationships, fabulously. Yeah, you could, Sam, because you're not that far away, because postage is exorbitant here. But yes, absolutely. And spiritually, it is beautiful. It's getting very hot in here. Is it just me or what? It's fabulous in moon rituals. Absolutely fabulous in moon rituals. And it is, you don't have to do elaborate ceremonies, just your own beautiful, even just sitting under the moon and moonlight with your aquamarine and your jasmine oil around you. Beautiful. What else is there? The archetypes of jasmine. You've got the queen, because she is a queen. She really is. And maybe it's not the strongest archetype of her, but she definitely embodies that of the queen. She really does. She's not a queen that rules through, not authoritative or anything like that. She's that queen of confidence, but calm, quiet confidence. She doesn't compare herself to others. She is that queen. She's beautiful. She awakens that regal energy in us. She's the priestess as well, because she's been long used in temples around the world So she's definitely the priestess. Most in lots of ancient temples, the attendants would wear jasmine flowers in their hair, and they'd have the fragrance around all the time. She's the lover, because she's teaching us about love, and that archetype is actually often misunderstood, really. The lover teaches healthy intimacy, and not only with others but with ourselves. Be intimate with yourself. Go inside and just feel what's in there, and speak kindly to yourself. Go and stand in front of the mirror just before you jump in the shower, so you're completely starkers. Stand in front of the mirror and look inside, and look at that mirror and say, I love you. And that's what jasmine can do. If you have that diffusing, you'll have that confidence to speak out and say, I love you. She's the artist. She's inspired by poets, musicians, painters, and definitely perfumers for centuries, because she awakens the artist. And perhaps that's why most artists actually keep flowers nearby when they work. Fabulous. Oh, beautiful, Naomi. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. It's beautiful to see you. I love your doggy. Gorgeous. Let's have a look bigger. Oh, you're in Nelson. Oh, wonderful. Welcome, Naomi. Beautiful. She's the mystic as well, because she walks beautifully between the seen and unseen worlds, and she is fabulous to awaken that quality in us that we are beautiful beings of mystery, and it's fabulous. She's the joy keeper. She when you smell her, and you just get a smile on your face. That is beautiful, joyful. Some of the little known things about jasmine, which are hard to find sometimes, is that many species, and I think I said this earlier actually, many species release their richest fragrance after sunset, not during the day. And scientists believe this evolved to attract flying pollinators like the moths. And the moths have a very keen sense of smell, and they find the blossom beneath the moonlight. It's a beautiful reminder that some of our greatest gifts reveal themselves in those quieter hours of the night. A single kilogram of jasmine absolute can require millions of individual blossoms, and each tiny blossom, I mean, you must all fairly much know what a jasmine flower looks like. Each tiny flower is harvested by hand before sunrise usually. That's when its fragrance is at its peak. And this is why jasmine is among the world's most precious aromatic materials. Every drop represents countless moments of patient human care. In India, fresh garlands are still woven daily and offered in temples. They're worn during weddings. They're used to welcome honoured guests. The flowers symbolize purity and devotion and heartfelt hospitality. In China, the jasmine blossoms have scented tea for centuries, and there's a Chinese jasmine blossom tea I have, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And they don't just simply mix the flowers with tea leaves. The blossoms are layered with freshly harvested tea overnight, so that the leaves then, the tea leaves then absorb the fragrance naturally. I have a lot of blends that have dried blossoms in them, which is beautiful as well. Then the flowers are then replaced again and again until that desired aroma of the jasmine is achieved. And that's a beautiful lesson to us too. Patience. There's always layers and layers and layers to work through, and have patience. Victorian florography, which is the language of flowers, associated jasmine with grace and elegance and deep affection. And a simple wee sprig could express emotions too subtle for words. It's a delightful image. And although jasmine appears incredibly delicate, many species, and this is what Andrea was talking about before, are vigorous climbers. They wind their way upward with determination, and they just are beautiful. They don't force their way up to the light. They just keep simply reaching up there, and that's a beautiful metaphor for our lives too. Jasmine is one of those very rare oils that just can become woven into everyday life without feeling complicated. Diffuse it at night, because that's where you'll have that beautiful restful sleep. Add a drop to a carrier oil and massage it over your heart area before journaling or meditation. Definitely use it with your moon rituals and your journaling, and don't overlook all those little ordinary moments, or what we say are ordinary moments. A single drop diluted into a hand massage before bed, a beautiful cup of herbal tea with jasmine blossoms in it, and drink it by an open window, a few mindful breaths of jasmine before beginning your day, can all just become tiny sacred rituals when accompanied by that jasmine's presence. It's fabulous. Jasmine is wonderfully concentrated, so only a very small amount is needed. Its richness means that one diluted drop often provides all the aromatic presence that you need. More isn't better. Like some oils, I think, I'll just chuck a bit more in there. You'd have to be careful with if you're going to use it on your skin when you do that. But I've learned over the years that I can chuck a bit more on that one. But jasmine is just a little, and its fragrance actually becomes better and more beautiful when you use it sparingly. Always dilute it, even though I said put a drop on your hands. But you've got to test that out. Some oils I can do that fine, other people can't. So you need to just test that out yourself. Oh, beautiful, Naomi, beautiful. I love jasmine. I love it. And because Jasmine Absolute, that is my favorite, but Jasmine Absolute is solvent extracted. So it is definitely, when you're buying a essential oil that is solvent extracted, make sure your supplier is very reputable, because they can provide information about its quality and its purity. So because of that, you do have to be careful. Historically, many aromatherapists would tell you to avoid it, jasmine, during early pregnancy, and there are traditional beliefs that surround its stimulating influence. So do check with your medical professional, and or a trained aromatherapist, or both. With all essential oils, and definitely with absolutes, jasmine should never be taken internally. There are some essential oils that are what they call food grade, and those you can, but mostly essential oils are used externally. And but yes, you can actually get food grade ones. Now, if jasmine was to leave us with one final teaching, I think it is, the flower, it never asks if it's worthy of blooming. It just blooms. It responds to light, rain, the turning of the seasons, and somewhere deep within it trusts that life knows exactly what it's doing. So sometimes we forget that, don't we? And jasmine invites you back to it. Reminds us that there's a season for resting beneath the soil, a season for gathering strength, a season for stretching toward the light, and a season then for blooming. Beautiful. Now, how use them together? I've pretty much told you all that. But they are beautiful together because their energy is the same. They they are just wonderful. One of them is about the ocean and that beautiful freshness of the ocean. And aquamarine doesn't stop the waves either. It reminds the sea how to become calm again, maybe. And then you've got jasmine that tells you the times to bloom. When I was studying essential oils, Azizi, I had a questionnaire that oh, excuse me, that I answered and came out with my signature oil. If I can find that, it's probably here in some of my materials. I'll put it in my group, or on my link tree. Might be easier actually, because then you can download it and you can find out what your signature oil is. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll try and find it, because it's wonderful trying to knowing that, because sometimes we love, it is, it's quite cool. Sometimes we think we love the smell of it, but if we put it on our skin and that, we go, oh, that's not so good. So if I when you find out what your signature oil is, you know confidently that that's going to be an oil your body will love. So yes, I will try and find that, and it's got to be somewhere in here. And it will be fabulous. I'm in Auckland, Naomi. I'm in Auckland. Is my card not showing there? Let me put it up there again. It's still sitting there, but I was just saying, Andrea, that it was a questionnaire that I did when I was learning essential oils. So I will find it, and I will post it on my link tree, and then you can download it and do it yourself as well. Yeah. Yes, another New Zealander. It's lovely. So is Andrea. Andrea above you is a beautiful New Zealander as well. Yes, Bay of Plenty. And Naomi is in Nelson. Beautiful Nelson. I've got another friend in Nelson actually. It's beautiful how they how they work together. Think about the ocean, and does the tide ever panic because it's going out? Does it ever worry that it might return? It doesn't. It just trusts those rhythms, you know. And now think about jasmine. Does jasmine force herself to bloom at midday simply because the roses are already open? No, she waits for dusk. She trusts her rhythm too. So nature never compares itself. You know, only humans. We are the only ones that compare ourselves. You know, why do we do it? I love that, Azizi. I love that. Think about yourself as the ocean. Yes, yes. You know, don't panic. Don't panic. I think that's probably one of the greatest spiritual lessons that these two offer us. You know, trust your rhythm. Don't compare yourself. Trust your own beautiful rhythm. You know, sometimes we bloom early. Sometimes we bloom quietly. Sometimes we bloom after tremendous storms. But, you know, every single one is beautiful. And aquamarine and jasmine teach that beautiful patience to have with ourselves. Become curious instead of critical, you know. Don't ask what's wrong with you. Ask yourself what within me is preparing to bloom. And that question change anything, everything. It really can. And, you know, maybe imagine aquamarine and jasmine as two companions, as old friends. And aquamarine sits beside the sea. It's collecting all that beautiful wisdom. Jasmine's wandering around in the moonlight gardens, collecting all that beauty. And every evening they go and sit and they meet, and the ocean tells stories of courage. The flowers answer with stories of love. The sea teaches truth, and the blossoms teach tenderness. Neither believes they are more important. Together they are beautiful. Together they are beautiful. Beautiful wisdom. And wisdom without love becomes cold. And love without wisdom becomes fragile. And life asks for both. Another beautiful thing about this pairing is their relationship between breathing and fragrance. Take a slow breath. Really notice it. Breathing is one of the few things that we do every moment without thinking. Yet the instant jasmine comes into the air, we become aware of every inhale. The fragrance naturally slows us down. Aquamarine does similarly emotionally. It shows our reactions. It slows our reactions. It creates little pauses. And inside those little pauses, choice appears. And it's beautiful. So instead of defending, we listen. Instead of rushing, we trust. Flowers never apologize for being fragrant. The oceans never apologizes for being vast. And maybe your soul no longer needs to apologize for being exactly as beautifully unique as it was created to be. Breath is our superpower. It is. And it's like the ocean. It just goes in and out and in and out without us really thinking about it. And deep breaths are so very regenerative. All my words are running in together. One of the most fascinating things I love about aquamarine and jasmine is that they don't ask me to learn something new. They ask me to remember something ancient. That's beautiful. I love that. We live in a world that constantly rewards thinking. We're encouraged to analyze, to plan, to compare, to organize, to solve. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, our minds are extraordinary tools, but somewhere along the way, we've forgotten that we experience life through far more than our thoughts. When was the last time you really noticed the feeling of warm sunshine on your face? Or the scent of flowers just drifting through an open window? Or the sound of rain arriving before you even saw the clouds? Children, they do that naturally. They stop to watch butterflies. They splash in puddles. They collect beautiful stones without wondering whether they've been productive. And somewhere during adulthood, many of us stop noticing. And aquamarine and jasmine guide us back to our senses. Aquamarine begins with our breathing. And almost anyone who holds aquamarine naturally slows their breath without even realizing it. That's so lovely. And aquamarine just helps us return back into this moment, back into this breath, back into ourselves. And jasmine, it brings us, our senses become completely present, just for a few beautiful seconds, nothing else exists. That's one of jasmine's greatest gifts, is presence. It's fragrance, it's not rushed. It's the first breath introduces the flower. The second breath reveals honey. The third breath, soft fruit. The warm earth, the green leaves, the moonlit gardens. It just keeps unfolding. And that's what we do. We do that. We keep moving and unfolding. And that's beautiful. Aquamarine encourages us to listen. Jasmine encourages us to notice. And together they awaken something wonderfully simple. Wonder. Wonder. Look around you at the wonderfully joyful, beautiful things that are in your life. They might be tiny, but they're still beautiful. Beautiful. Blends I have made. Yes. Yeah, it is beautiful. Beautiful for that. And I love lavender. It's because it has a calming effect. Lavender is very polarizing. You either like it or you don't, from my experience. But I love it. I love it. And I have that in a lot of my blends too. And if you don't like lavender and you want to use one of my blends, just leave it out. It's fine. You just adjust the amounts, adjust the amount of oil, like the drops, and put them somewhere else. That's fine. So I do have, I thought I did an anointing blend. I have an anointing blend here, which has got jasmine absolute in it. It's got frankincense, sandalwood, neroli, and it's beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely, Karma. Absolutely, yeah. We've got to keep our bumblebees happy because we won't have a life without them. Then I have a beautiful ocean bloom facial elixir. And that has got jojoba, camellia seed oil, rosehip, pomegranate seed oil, and then it's got jasmine absolute. It's got blue tansy in it. Oh, that's a beautiful oil too. And frankincense. And that one is lovely to warm up in your hands, and then just take 3 slow deep breaths, or as many as you like, and then do that, just a few drops, and then add some more and massage it all over your body. It's beautiful, beautiful. And if you're going to use it on your face, perfect, but always use upward movements. Beautiful upward flowing movements. And then I've got a lovely mist. I love mists. I love spraying them around the house. They just uplift spaces, especially if you don't have a diffuser. They're fabulous for that. And that has got rose hydrosol and jasmine hydrosol, chamomile hydrosol and water. And then excuse me, and then some vegetable glycerin. That just helps with extra hydration. So you can mist over yourself as well as in your room with that one. Yes, I do. And I'm pretty sure I've got those on my link tree, Naomi. So if you go to the bottom of my about page, you'll find my link tree. And I'm sure there is, because I had someone that that had never used oils on their skin and they were worried about it. So I've put that up on my link tree. So you should be able to find it there. If you don't, message me and I will send it to you. That's fine. Pleasure. And then we have a beautiful, I love these. I use these a lot. A heart aura mist. And it is intended for the body, this one, when you're meditating, when you're doing yoga, or going to sleep. And that's got neroli. Oh, neroli is beautiful. Neroli hydrosol, jasmine hydrosol, rose hydrosol, water, the solubilizer, which is glycerin, and that's above higher. You'll find that, and 2 drops of absolute, jasmine absolute, and 2 drops of frankincense. It's heaven. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Always keep your crystal beside your bottles overnight or 24 hours, even if you can, before you use them, and then you get the energy of the crystal absorbed into the oil, and you have that beautiful combined energy together. Then I have a lovely mala one, and this is the one I've made, and I put a few drops of that before I use my mala beads. So these are the ones I usually use for our mala live, and so I just put some on my finger and let that just move through the beads, and the scent is just beautiful when you're chanting and doing a mala meditation. So they're beautiful. It's beautiful for that. Just a tiny little dot on your fingers, because it's your fingers that are moving through, not your hand, not the palms of your hand. And then you can create, even if you don't want to chant and you want to use the beads as a breath meditation, you can use the fragrance as the breath. So you can breathe in that beautiful aroma, and then you can imagine that every bead is like a wave, and a wave that's returning to your heart, and then beautiful. And then I've made a tea blend. I always love having a tea blend, and this one has got jasmine green tea in it, and that is beautiful. I always have jasmine green tea around, and then I'll add things to it, or I'll just have it as jasmine green tea. You could also use jasmine white tea for this one if you want. It's a bit lighter, not as full-bodied as the green tea. And then I've got dried chamomile flowers in it, dried rose petals, lemon balm, a little bit of lavender as well. And that one is lovely at nighttime for sleep. And I add a drop of honey in it as well. Lovely little drizzle of honey in it. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And again, place your crystal beside it while it's brewing, and beautiful energies combined together. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. 2 hours 30 already. Who wants to meditate? After all that information, I think it's always a good thing to finish with meditating. I will put some of this on me to smell while we're meditating. And even if you don't have jasmine diffusing, or you don't have the crystal, just imagine it. You've heard what they each sound like and smell like and feel like. Just imagine it. Maribel, me. And you've got your aquamarine. I love it. I love it. All right, my lovelies. All right. If you're not seated comfortably already, find a beautiful place where your body can become completely comfortable. Absolute, completely relaxed and comfortable. And then if you are or you're not sitting with your aquamarine, just imagine it resting gently in your hands, or place your hands over your heart. Just imagine that beautiful, delicate fragrance of jasmine is already filling the room, and it's wrapping around you like beautiful, soft embrace of a warm summer evening. Allow your eyes to close, not because you're shutting out the world, but because you're opening the doorway to another one. Take a long, slow, beautiful breath in. The beautiful floral sweetness of jasmine drifts into your awareness. And as you breathe out, every little worry, every unfinished thought, and every expectation is floating away like tiny feathers carried upon a beautiful breeze. Again, breathe in deeply. And this time, imagine your breath carrying with it the soft blue light of aquamarine. It's cool, it's gentle, it's peaceful. It flows through your chest like calm water spreading across the surface of a lake. And with every breath, your body begins to relax. Your shoulders become lighter. Your jaw releases. The muscles around your eyes melt away. Your hands become wonderfully heavy. And your breathing slows until it feels as though your whole body is breathing with the rhythm of the ocean itself. Now imagine beneath your feet there is warm, silvery sand. You glance down. It isn't ordinary sand at all. Each tiny grain sparkles with blue light of aquamarine. Millions upon millions of tiny crystal fragments shimmer beneath the light of a magnificent full moon. And you smile to yourself. Oh, I've never seen a beach like this. And a wave rolls toward your feet. It doesn't splash, it simply kisses the shoreline before retreating again, leaving delicate patterns of light dancing across the sand. And the ocean itself glows, not bright enough to dazzle your eyes, just enough that every ripple seems to carry liquid moonlight. And as you begin walking along the shoreline, you notice that your footsteps leave no marks. Instead, wherever your feet touch the crystal sand, tiny white jasmine flowers bloom, one after another. Each blossom opens with a soft glow, releasing the most exquisite fragrance into the warm evening air. And you pause and you say to yourself, wow, isn't that just magical? It almost feels as though the island has been waiting especially for you. The sea breeze wraps around you. It carries salt, freshness, sweetness of jasmine, something else. A feeling of coming home. Not to a place you've visited before, but to a place your soul has always remembered. Ahead, the winding trail of blooming jasmine begins leading away from the shore. Flowers seem almost playful, opening one by one as though encouraging you forward. Curiosity rises inside you, and you follow. The pathway meanders through graceful white archways, woven entirely from flowering jasmine vines. Tiny silver butterflies rest upon the blossoms, their wings sparkling like stardust. And as you walk beneath each archway, they lift into the air, they circle around you before continuing deeper into the garden. Oh, I think I've decided you're the one of them now, you whisper with a smile. The garden grows even more beautiful. Crystal streams wind lazily between flowering trees. Every leaf glows with a soft emerald light. The air hums with birdsong unlike anything you've ever heard. Notes that seem to settle directly into your heart rather than in your ears. Ahead stands an enormous gate carved from translucent aquamarine crystal. It rises high into the night sky, shimmering like frozen ocean water. And as you approach, it opens without sound, almost as though it recognized you. And beyond it lies the moon garden of the crystal sea. The beauty steals your breath. White marble pathways weave through endless gardens, overflowing with jasmine, white roses, lilies, and silver green herbs. And crystal fountains send ribbons of water dancing into the air before they fall back into pools as smooth as polished glass. The moonlight catches every droplet, turning the whole garden into a symphony of tiny stars. And in the center of the garden stands an ancient tree, unlike any you have ever seen. Its trunk is made entirely from aquamarine crystal. Its branches stretch wide across the sky. And instead of leaves, thousands upon thousands of glowing jasmine blossoms bloom upon every branch. The fragrance is almost beyond words, soft, warm, comforting, sacred. And as you stand beneath the tree, you hear footsteps approaching. And a woman appears, dressed in flowing robes, the color of the sea, just before dawn. Her long silver hair is woven with jasmine flowers, and resting over her heart is the most magnificent aquamarine crystal you've ever seen. Her eyes shine with infinite kindness. "My dear traveller," she says, "welcome home." Not welcome here. Welcome home. And those two simple words seem to settle somewhere deep inside you. She reaches out her hand, and without hesitation, you take it. Her touch feels warm, steady, and reassuring. And together you begin walking through the garden. "You know," she says with a smile, "people spend so much of their time searching for themselves when the soul has never been lost." Just let those words settle. So much of your life is searching for yourself when the soul has never been lost. And she continues, "It has simply been waiting patiently for the mind to become quiet enough to hear it again." And as you walk, you notice pools of crystal clear water appearing throughout the gardens. Each one reflects something different. One reflects laughter. Another reflects courage. Another shows moments of kindness you've offered that you had completely forgotten. You kneel beside one shimmering pool, and instead of seeing your reflection, you see yourself exactly as your soul sees you. Whole, radiant, enough. Not perfect, simply beautiful in your humanity. And you feel something soften inside your heart. Something you've been carrying for far too long dissolves into the water. The guardian smiles knowingly. "Yes," she whispers. "It is time to put that burden down." She leads you onward to a magnificent waterfall, cascading from high above the gardens. The water sparkles like liquid aquamarine. "This," she says, "is the water of truth." Stepping beneath the waterfall, you expect cold. Instead, the water is warm, silken. Every droplet carries peace. And as it flows over your head, your shoulders, your heart, and your hands, every harsh word you've ever spoken to yourself begins washing away. Every doubt, every comparison, every fear of not being enough, the water carries them effortlessly back into the crystal cavern, out into the ocean where they dissolve into pure light. And the guardian smiles. "You were never meant to carry those." And stepping out from the waterfall, you feel lighter and brighter, as though you've remembered something wonderfully important. The path now leads to a circular marble pavilion overlooking the glowing sea, and there, waiting upon a pedestal, rests a delicate circlet woven from fresh jasmine blossoms, silver vines, and tiny aquamarine crystals. And the guardian lifts it up. "This is not a crown of power," she says. "It is a crown of remembrance." She places it softly upon your head, and instantly your heart chakra begins glowing with soft emerald and rose light, opening like a flower greeting the dawn. And a moment later, a stream of clear blue light rises to your throat chakra, filling it with calm confidence, compassion, and truth. And you suddenly understand that speaking honestly doesn't have to mean speaking loudly. Real truth is gentle, kind, clear, just like flowing water. And the guardian smiles as though hearing your thoughts. "Exactly," she says. And together you walk towards the edge of the sea. The ocean has become perfectly still. It reflects every star above until you cannot tell where heaven ends and water begins. "Walk," she says. And you place one foot upon the surface, and instead of sinking, the sea becomes solid crystal beneath your feet. With every step, circles of soft blue light spread outward across the water, carrying blessings far beyond the horizon. And the guardian speaks one final time. "Whenever life becomes noisy, return here. When your heart feels heavy, return here. When you forget how beautiful you truly are, return here. This garden will always bloom within you." And you look back one final time. The ancient aquamarine tree glows beneath the moon. The jasmine blossoms dance in the breeze. The crystal fountains continue singing their timeless song. And you realize this place isn't disappearing. It is becoming part of you. And slowly you begin walking back along the shimmering shoreline. The fragrance of jasmine still lingers around you. The waves whisper softly at your feet. The aquamarine sand glows beneath the first delicate colors of dawn. And with every step back towards waking life, you carry the gifts of this sacred place within you. A calm mind, an open heart, a truthful voice, and the certainty that, like the jasmine flower, you never needed to force yourself to bloom. You simply needed to trust your own season. Take a slow, gentle breath in and feel the peace of aquamarine flowing through you like a calm ocean. And breathe out and let the sweet fragrance of jasmine Remind your heart that beauty often unfolds quietly, gracefully, and exactly when it's meant to. Begin to notice the surface beneath you once more. That beautiful, gentle rhythm of your breathing. The room around you. Perhaps you want to wiggle your fingers or your toes. And when you feel ready, just slowly open your eyes. Carry the moon garden of the crystal sea with you today, for it is no longer a place you have visited. It is a sanctuary that now lives within your heart. And whenever you hold your aquamarine or breathe in the delicate fragrance of jasmine, just simply pause long enough to listen to the wisdom within. The gates of that enchanted garden will open once more, waiting to welcome you home. Thank you, Lauren. Hello, Jordan. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Catherine. I didn't see you bobbling around down there. Another teacher here. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, my eyes were watering. I recorded it this morning, so it might go live overnight. It might. Sometimes they are just so quick, and other times they go, you have to wait for days. But yeah, it's waiting there. It's waiting there. Yes, Anila. Yes, she is beautiful. She's your daughter, Jordan. Beautiful. She is a lovely soul. I love it when she comes to my lives. She's beautiful. Congratulations on rearing such a beautiful soul. I love it. Thank you, Maribel. Thank you. Beautiful, my lovelies. My goodness, these seem to be getting longer and longer, don't they? I do love doing the meditation at the end. I think it's just makes you breathe. And Jen, thank you so much for your donation. I don't think I saw it come in before. Jen, and yes, fabulous. I do have a sleep one, Catherine. Have I got it on my list? I used to have it here. Yes, that is my particular sleep one that I have done, which I love. And